Japanese work culture, man. It's horrible. It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
You will be there sometimes 6 days a week, if not 7.
Right.
You will do things outside of the scope of your contract routinely.
Yep.
And you are expected to go and socialize with coworkers and be a part of these things. Whether it's today we're going to proctor tests for 8 hours, and in Japan that means you do not move, you do not speak, you cannot check your phone, and if a student knocks like their pencil off the table of their desk, they can't even pick it up. You have to go and be like, here you are. But you can't speak though. You just ominously throw it down in their face. So these happen like 6 or 7 times a year with testing.
Right.
So those are like weeks of your life where you're sitting and just thinking, and there's nothing worse than being left alone with your thoughts on like a beautiful day.
Yeah.
So
I never thought about that. Because like I can remember taking tests in like school and stuff. And I can't remember what my teachers were doing.
Well, they would hire examiners.
Oh,
they
really?
They were like third parties people, because obviously the teachers are teaching still during exams, so they can't oversee the exams.
Oh, see, we have like a whole testing block. So it'd be like, all right, it's finals or university entrance examination kind of pre-test.
Yeah.
So all the teachers have no classes, but we take a buddy system.
Right.
And you'd stand there for 90 minutes and just make sure no one's cheating. And it's like, man, this is brutal. And those things, or like today we're having a Setsumeikai, which is like an informational day because we got to recruit students. So everyone down to the arena so we can set up 475 chairs manually, like setting these things and pulling them out of the thing. And then you do all this stuff like waiting. And in Japan, you're like, "Kochi ni haite kudasai." You say that like 4,000 times, like, come this way. And then
As if you don't know where the fuck the entrance is.
No, it's not just the entrance. You guide them along like 18 people are pointing you to
my God.
a straight line. And you're like, okay. And they always put they put me out front because I got a winning smile and I'm like, hey, welcome. And the parents are just like walking by and you're like, okay. But outside of the teaching stuff is a major part of your work. And you'll sit in meetings legitimately for 6 or 7 hours and you have no idea what's being talked about.
Yeah.
And I'll lean over to like an English teacher. I'm like, what are we talking about? And she's like, they're discussing sock colors. And I'm like, what? We've been here for 3 hours. I was like, purple, blue, white. And they're just like, no, this is a very important discussion. So it's those things amplified times 100.
What are they like trying to figure out the fucking hexadecimal?
So the shift would be hard anyway, having to do it. And then on top of that, you have hours upon hours of time where you just feel like your time is being wasted. And
unbelievably so.
Because like I interned at a
insane.
Japanese tech company during college for like 3 months in Tokyo, like in Shibuya.
Right.
And those 3 months were more than enough time for me to be like, I do not want to be part of this cycle, because it was exactly the same. Like when I was employed, like I had like a set list of things that was my job, like day-to-day basis, right? It's like, I did like website design and like SEO design and stuff like that. But 90% of the day was shit that I had no expertise in, or B, I had no knowledge in. So I was like forced to like sit with like these clients for this company, and they're talking about some kind of fucking higher end business shit, and I'm just sitting there being like, do you want me to like take notes? And they're like, no, just be here. And I'm like, why am I here? I could have finished my job today by now if I didn't have this meeting. So it's like, no, you have to be here though. It's company policy. I'm like, is it? Because I'm not fucking doing anything.
And that is the reality.
It's horrible.
It's also, he speaks Japanese. So I'm just sitting there and it's like, I hate when people say I have ADHD, right? But I like literally have it. Like, I was like the first kid who had it. And the treatments, like when we were kids, I remember my mom took me to like this ADHD specialist.
Pioneer of ADHD.
I seriously was. And they were like,
I invented ADHD.
Well, they put you on all these different pills, which my mom, I think, was like, I'll just take those. You don't need them. And I was like, those are uppers, aren't they? And I'm like, okay. But they gave me these headphones that were like giant, like 1970s cans of these things.
Yeah.
And I had to listen to whales communicating for like 3 hours a night to try to calm your mind. And I was like,
I thought that was just like a meme.
No, I am the meme. So I am. That's me.
Holy shit.
So we did that.
Did it help?
I don't think I'm stable. I don't know what happened to me, but like, I don't think it helped. I was like 8 or 9. And so I was a kid. And so like, I had some real issues. But my mom was very patient. But like, the ADHD part of me, when you're sitting in a room for 7 hours and you can't read a book, you can't
Oh my God.
you just have to sit there. So that actually helped me more than the whales did, because you really learn to be totally patient with like the opportunity. But I do feel bad. I want to say one thing really quick about teaching, because I've totally shit on it for like 30 minutes.
Right.
Teaching can be really fun. It's in the classroom I think with high school especially, it can be really satisfying and very rewarding. And you get to see some kids make like genuine progress. And I like preparing my own lessons. I like doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Though I did it for probably 9 years too long, but I still think if that's the job that gets you into a country you want to be in, whether it's Japan or somewhere else, I would take it still. I have no regrets over those experiences. I have a lot. I'm leaving out all the funny stories, but like,
Yeah, I mean, you have a treasure
Yeah,
trove
yeah.
of stories that
We'll
came
get
out
to
of
that.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
like
to that.
those experiences are definitely, they've helped me in so many different ways. But
Yeah.
my advice would be find another outside the school's income, something to supplement it.
Yeah.
Something like private lessons, or if you have some other skills, you join a hobby that pays somehow. That will help you enjoy your life in Japan more than the working 75
Yeah.
hours a week
Yeah.
part of
Yeah.
it. But yeah, those are all very different experiences, but they're all it's pretty shit on by everybody. Most people, if you ask them, like, what do you do in Japan? They'll be like, I teach English, but I also I teach yoga once every 3 months. And you're like, that's awesome. But we kind of meme it up a bit to each other. It's kind of like,
right.
we're like, another day teaching English. It's tough.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Jeez.
I think
Right.
it's pretty mocked.
So how did you go how did you go in terms of your process of like planning lessons and stuff like that? Did you just like make it up on the fly?
Like,
or
you
did
probably
have
have to
a
like follow a curriculum.
basic plan, right? Do
Well-
you have a curriculum or something to follow?
So it varies depending on the school, but I'll give you like 2 or 3 examples. Sometimes the curriculum is 100% either faxed to you from the company, like today's
Faxed,
colors, and it'll be like, this is the layout, this is the intro, this is the middle, or you'll have a giant book that has this is the sequence of lessons we're teaching this year. Today's
Right.
lesson is this.
Yeah.
And then the other ones, that's step 1. That's usually like an eikaiwa or elementary school. It's pretty simplified and straightforward.
Yeah.
Second one is like, I would say the middle school area where you have, or early high school, like first year students, you work very closely with an English teacher who is their Japanese primary. Japanese teacher who teaches English. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Then they will say, I've taught them this grammar point, but I'm having trouble making an activity so that we could reuse it or like make it fun. So then you're like, okay, well, let me see what I got.
Let me do my magic.
Let me put on the clown shoes real quick.
I was like, I've got that ready to go. And it's like Superman, but you just have the buttons that are just like legs. And I start putting on the makeup. But those are, the common ones are like a bingo or a Jeopardy or some sort of interactive dialogue or,
Right.
And then when you get into high school, one of my favorite things was I actually, if I must admit, I made my own textbook. Thank you. But and it never got published. But, I got to use it in the class that I taught. But for me, it was the perfect opportunity because they said, we've created a class just for you.
Right.
We want you to teach these students, but we're leaving it open-ended to you. But I need you to write up a detailed like yearly outline. Like, what is your pedagogy? What are you going to try to bring to them? What are the midterms? What are the finals? How is it being schooled? All that stuff.
Right.
And I really used my previous 6 years of teaching, and it was really kind of nice to be able to put all of those ideas into one single package. And so
Yeah.
as you get more experience, and I think if you take it seriously, you have a lot more control over how you want those lessons to go. But sometimes you can tell immediately, you get in there and you're like, oh, I got the best game ever. We're going to play this cool rock, scissors, paper game. And like 10 minutes later, you're like, this shit's horrible and no one's having fun. And you look at the clock and you're like, that wasn't even 10 minutes. I was 3. And you're like, I got 47 more minutes. And then you're like, all right, clean up, everybody everywhere. And you just, that
Like,
part,
this shit always works.
but so you learn a lot about, which I think has helped me in acting definitely that degree was useful.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, being agile or being able to think on your feet and
Improvising.
Improvising's
Yeah.
a massive one. And it's kind of cool. You get this, you talk to teachers who've done it for a while, you get this internal clock where you don't even need to see the thing anymore, like on the wall. You already know that game has already been long enough.
Yeah.
So let's wrap it up and go to this other thing. And if I need to add or detract some time,
You can do it.
It's awesome. It's a really fun feeling being,
Right.
your own little star of a classroom. So it's fun.
Oh yeah.
All right,
Yep.
well,
But that's how you make a lesson.
yeah.